Charles grasp all lose all on being wretched in a bribery scandal as kick himself out of throne race. Prince Charles is currently embroiled in a bribery scandal. One report says he's not sweating it for he's already selected another man to take the fall. Cash for titles. Former Charles aide Michael Fawcett is currently under investigation for allegedly selling royal titles to the highest bidder. He was allegedly communicating with a Saudi billionaire and funneled funds through charities under the promise of a royal title. The investigation is ongoing, and it looks pretty damning. The palace insists Charles had no idea what was happening directly under his nose. According to the National Enquirer, Fawcett's scheme didn't involve his boss. An insider says, "I'm sure the Prince of Wales didn't even know what was going on. Charles was as blind to it as anyone else." The investigation is firmly focused on Fawcett, but other sources are a bit more cynical. One palace source believes the Fawcett probe is just a setup to allow Charles to distance himself from the entire affair. Fawcett is more than happy to fall on his sword to protect Charles. He gets his hands dirty so Charles can remain clean. Members of the public are starting to doubt Charles' innocent explanation. What's going on with Prince Charles? If these sources actually knew details about Charles' involvement, then why didn't this tabloid break the story? Think about it, these so-called sources are confident that Fawcett is a patsy, yet there wasn't a peep about bribery until the investigation became public. It's safe to say these insiders are strictly speculating and have no exclusive information. The lion's share of this story is spent reviewing the actual facts of the Fawcett case, but you wouldn't know it from the title. Charles bribe scandal patsy is emblazoned in enormous letters above the article, implying that Fawcett was deliberately set up by Charles. Most of the report is not so bold, with quotes from multiple sources telling completely different stories. You shouldn't believe either source because you shouldn't trust the Enquirer. It never had any insight into Charles' life. It claimed he banished Prince Harry to America and that he's been passed over in favor of Prince William. Neither of these stories was remotely accurate. In his speech to the COP26 summit, Charles said the strength of the global private sector was greater than governments and represented the only real prospect of fundamental change. Charles said, "The scale and scope of the threat we face call for a global, systems-level solution, based on radically transforming our current fossil fuel-based economy to one that is genuinely renewable and sustainable." So ladies and gentlemen, my plea today is for countries to come together to create the environment that enables every sector of industry to take the action required. We also know that countries, many of whom are burdened by growing levels of debt, simply cannot afford to go green. Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector. With trillions at its disposal, far beyond global GDP and, with the greatest respect, beyond even the governments of the world's leaders, it offers the only real prospect of achieving fundamental economic transition. Same story every week. This is just one of many lofty hit pieces from this rag in the wake of the Fawcett scandal. Gossip Cop busted this very tabloid when it claimed Charles would be kicked from the royal family because of the scandal. It's very telling that this story goes completely unmentioned in the Patsy story. A week later, it claimed Charles was hiding behind Fawcett. The Enquirer is just repeating itself at this point. Tabloids are content to invent scandals and drama, so we're not surprised that the Enquirer is exploiting the Fawcett probe for all it's worth.